Hello, folks, and guys and gals, and everybody out there on YouTube watching this on whatever platform you decide to watch. Anyways, we'll talk about how to fix this broken thing that we call Doctor Who, or at least the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who episodes, well, seasons really. The biggest problem is, I would say, not really the actress or any of the actors. The biggest problem of all is bad writing and also bad stage directions. Say, well, how can you say that? Well, it's quite simple. When Jodie Whittaker was asked, along with Chibnall was there as well, about the character of Doctor Who, why she didn't, elaborate more, And she said, it's all there. It's in the pages, in the script. Well, Chibnall said, it's all Jodie Whittaker. She puts herself into the story. But that's not true. We go with Jodie Whittaker, who actually specified that it was in the script, and she's just following directions as she's being told by the directors and also by Chibnall, including the script. And the first big problem is that they decided to tell her, don't watch Doctor Who. She was never a fan. She never watched it when she was a kid or anything, regularly or anything like that. So she has kind of a passing knowledge, yes, she knows what a Dalek is, probably even knows what Cybermen are, but the rest of the canon, probably not. She probably would recognize, some of the actors of being within Doctor Who, But the big problem is not getting her to watch the original series, the old classic Doctor Who. You should at least do that and have her watch some of the interviews from certain Doctor Who. Well, actually, I suggest watching all their interviews that they've had of the different actors that portrayed the Doctor. Because is the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, who just specified that he was playing a character. He just decided to play the character as him. He played Tom. That's what he did. And people loved his interpretation as this very unique character. Yes, the character is alien, masquerading as a human. Well, that's what she should have kept in mind and put more of herself into it, and including I think the writers should have gave more directions on that, and also put in a little more things that was Jodie Whittaker, like her likes and dislikes. How about something as simple as what sport she likes playing, what she's good at? Because look at all the Doctors. Each one of them had put themselves into it. The first Doctor, he decided to play the Doctor as a cranky old man, but he was also a grandfather, also a teacher, because the series had to be educational at that time. Plus, he was also this mysterious Father Christmas kind of character. Then you go into the second Doctor, who does is portray it more in the comical sense. That, yes, he is smug, he is arrogant, that, yes, I am the most intelligent man around here. Of all you idiots, I am the most intelligent. I have to figure this out. And he's always thwarted on these puzzles and whatnot, because he's not fully himself. Because with each reincarnation, regeneration, as it were, the Doctor has peculiarities. And yes, he remembers, and also he forgets on certain things. And this portrays this little defects go on from each iteration, and it continues to this day. Well, the third Doctor, he becomes a martial artist. He goes dramatic, and he also, the actor that played him, decided to get rid of a lot of the technobabble because he doesn't want to, spill out a whole mess of nonsense, technobabble. Why bother with that? Because he's not going to really remember a lot of this shit. That's why. And then you get the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, who basically plays as Tom. Third Doctor also puts himself into it. He puts his dramatic self into it, but also some of the stuff that he's done comical as well, but more serious, and also more of the third Doctor, I would say, is more like the James Bond of Doctor Who, as it were, action-packed and stuff like that. And then you go and then you have Tom's version, and then the fifth Doctor. Well, then within the fifth Doctor, you bring in his likes, which one of his likes happens to be cricket. He actually loves to play cricket, so they put that into the stories, and then each one end up putting a little themselves into it. The sixth Doctor, he plays it more aggressive and also very serious. And then you go to the seventh Doctor, who, the seventh Doctor, yes, he was another short man, but he also was serious work before Doctor Who, but he also was comical, especially just before Doctor Who. He was like a children's comedy show. So, yeah, he was basically a clown. So he brought a lot of that into it, but also kept going back to like the earlier renditions of the grumpy grandfather to the smart aleck know-it-all to the aggressive Doctor of the sixth to this kind of whimsical of the second and the fourth, but he also puts himself into it of his own take, because not everything of Doctor Who, or even the character of the Doctor, is within the script. A lot of it has to shine through the actor. The actor has to take some liberties and portray the character in his or her own way, have their unique take. Same thing with all the actors and actresses. The actress that also played was the master/mistress. Because each iteration of the master and mistress also is like, think of it as Doctor Who, as the Doctor as Sherlock Holmes, and the master is his ultimate nemesis, Moriarty. So I see it as kind of the same contrast of Moriarty versus Holmes as the master versus the Doctor, or even mistress versus Doctor. And then you keep on going on with the different Doctors of their iterations. They bring more of themselves into it, their takes onto it. And then, get to Jodie Whittaker. She doesn't put anything into it. Can't say it's all her fault. Well, it is, and it isn't. Here's the reason why. Bad direction. Without the proper direction, it's showing her, hey, here's proper stuff. Because let's go back to when The Next Generation was before it became a pilot. you had was Jonathan Frakes, who ended up getting the part of William T. Riker, lieutenant. Well, he was commander of the ship, second in command of the vessel. So babyface Riker, or William Thomas Riker, Jonathan, aka also known as Jonathan Frakes, is his name. Okay, Jonathan Frakes knew nothing about Star Trek except for the basics that who Kirk and Spock are or whatever. Kind of the very basics. So what he decided to do was he went to the local video store and got copies of all the old Star Trek episodes, the original TV series, and he watched those. And from that, he got, okay, now we understand what kind of a show this is. It's a sci-fi show that's also talking about the events of today in a sci-fi setting, without pointing blame on society directly, showing them, the follies of man, what was going on at the time when they made those episodes, or even written those episodes. So he understood that what was going for, and he also understood how the characters are portrayed and how they act in this, sci-fi universe. He had the very gist of it, and then he also seen was, well, the first Star Trek film, Star Trek the motion picture. So with that under his belt of knowing what it is, but not knowing that before, there was also the animated series, which I don't think he actually watched those. Maybe he did. But the interviews I've seen, he specified that he watched was the original TV series, and he was passing knowledge of it. Now he knew a little bit more about what was going on, so he knew what to expect. But he did not know that there was a continuing of the stories of Kirk's time they were trying to film back in the 70s before they decided to scrap it and go for making it into just the motion picture. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. So, at least Jonathan Frakes knew what to expect, and then given more direction about what he is expected to play by, not by the directors, and also by the creator himself, Gene Roddenberry, to explain what his character is. What aspects that he portrays. So he doesn't have to go for the full, rambunctious, swashbuckler, as the original series was, because this was more of a Star Trek show that Roddenberry really wanted to make, which was to not be for kids, but for the whole family, the whole general audience, really. Not to dumb down or to trivialize sci-fi as it is, or to dumb it down for the populace to shovel it in. See, this is why certain series work a lot better when you have good writers, good direction, good actors, and plus when you have them all talking to each other and knowing what's going on, what they should do, then you have is a better program, a better piece of media as well. So, in the next video, I will explain what I will do to actually fix this. I'm not going to say, hey, this is how it should have been. Let's just take the mess of the Chibnall era and throw it in the bin, or just place it on the shelf as a mistake worth not repeating. If we're ever going to remake this ever again, at least give the actors more stage direction and also show them what the series is and what this means to the fans. And if you're going to play a character, especially if you're going to be the master or even the doctor, put yourself into those characters. Not just like play the character, embody the character. Become the character as well by putting more of yourself into the character. That's what the fans really love. When you have a character that is not two-dimensional, but is flawed, imperfect, and something to behold. Well, till I see you all again.